iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here, race fans, to the Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. It's the home of the Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight it is the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing, right here from the Tricky Triangle. They call it the Tricky Triangle, that's because we have 3 turns. It's not 4, it's 3, and not a single one of them have the same degree of banking, nor the radius of the turns. Turn number 1, after the long straightaway that you can easily fit 5 wide down the front straightaway, 14 degrees of banking. Into turn number 2, down the tunnel turn, that will be only 8 degrees of banking. And they say turn 3 is pretty flat. I can tell you that 6 degrees of banking is a lot of banking. A couple drivers won't have to worry about the banking here tonight. That is James Skelton, Michael Trevorthan, Jeffrey Souza, Tim Blum, and DJ Anderson. All those drivers have punched their ticket to the first round of the playoffs. Everybody else here tonight battling for one of those coveted spots to lock themselves in. But as we look down upon the track, it looks like it is just about time to go racing here tonight. Your starting lineup brought to us by our friends at SimBox. You need a button box, you need to look no further than SimBox. You can look them up over on Facebook.com at SimBox PC. That's SimBox PC, because SimBox has you covered in all the needs that you have for your sim rig. And starting on the front row here tonight, the number 2, the Rev Esports driver out of Florida. This is Michael Trevorthan. It is outside. The number 42 of Max Terriot will roll from P number 2 here tonight, while Shanika Single in car number 11 will start back in 3rd. Starting 4th here tonight, the Rev Esports driver out of Tampa, Florida, car number 61. This is going to be Dalton Williamson. Starting back into the 5th spot, driving car number 3, that is going to be Tony Strano. Doug Neal has a really good starting spot here tonight. Doug Neal will go from P number 6 in the SimBox entry. 7th will go to Ethan Troutman. 8th to the champion last season, car number 6 of Chris Hammett. The 86 of James Skelton will roll from 9th. 10th will go to the number 43 of Joe Strano. Philly Edwards will start into the 11th spot, while the 01 of Richard Murdoch will go from P number 12. 13th starting spot here tonight, the number 9-12 entry, the Six Rings Racing Eric Stout car will go 13th, and the Full Throttle Motorsports Ryan Donnie in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry goes 14th. It's the 38 of Brandon Feeney. He'll roll from the 15th starting position, while Joshua Buckley in the 13 MA, the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes entry, he'll start back there into the 16th spot. 17th, the Mr. Confusion Motorsports makes a rare start here on Monday night, car number 18 will go from the 17th starting spot. Car number 17 of Tim Combs will roll from the 18th starting spot, while Kevin O'Brien will the 19th spot. 20th will be Rob Higgins here tonight. Dustin Gainey will start car 15 back into the 21st spot. 22nd will go to the 950, the rookie this season of A.J. Watkins. Back into the 23rd starting spot here tonight, the 941 of Dan Murphy Jr. It's the checkered flag auto supply number 30 of Bob Higgins starting back into the 24th spot. And the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza starting shotgun to the field. That's your Simbox starting lineup here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. 60 laps is the scheduled distance here tonight. Looks like 24 drivers make the call. The number 4 of Jeffrey Souza has not made his way to the starting lineup, so he'll start from pit road if he can get the car fired off here tonight. Green flag is up here at the Pocono International Raceway as we're racing in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Down the front straightaway, you already see them fanned out 3, 4 wide down the front straightaway. They're all funneled back into 2x2 as they hit the turn number 1. Looking about turn number 1 down the back straightaway here. It will be the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen leading the way in his Ford Mustang. Down the back straightaway they go. Max Terriot right there, hot to trot as they go down into the tunnel turn. You gotta hit the tunnel turn right. You don't want to make a little mistake in the tunnel turn because that car will get tight and you will wind up into the outside wall. Turn number 3, they call it the flat turn. Right down around that yellow. Lap 1 will go to the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. So the first lap in the books here tonight down that very long straightaway. A good straightaway to get a good draft as they all start to work back to turn number 1. Big hump down into turn number 1 can really upset these cars here tonight. Everybody looking like they got it figured out here on the opening lap. There's the number 62, though. That is Ethan Troutman. He is falling like a rock through the field. There's the Wendy's number 62 entry. That Chevrolet has already fallen back 5 spots here tonight and outside the top 10. Not headed into the right direction here early on for Ethan Troutman. It is a long race here tonight. 60 laps the distance, so still plenty of time to work your way through, but trending backwards here in the early portions of this one. There's Joshua Buckley. He's already picked up 3 spots in the Randy Hitch Walker Haynes 13 NA. See him 1 spot ahead of Tim Combs. Ryan O'Donnell just set the fastest lap of the evening in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. There you see him, the driver out of Canton, Michigan, rocking the Turbo Dork colors. O'Donnell has picked up 3 spots, currently running into the 11th position here on lap number 3. Nobody has made the move on the race leader right now. You see everybody still packed up here together. This NASCAR Next Generation Cup car playing pretty equal right now to all these drivers as they work through the through turn 3 here. Look at them all as they're going to start to snake down the front straightaway. Sometimes they try to break the draft because this long straightaway puts good slingshots in the hands of the drivers who are back a little bit deeper into the field, or at least in the draft. Like 42 Max Terrell out there, he could have had the opportunity to slingshot down to the inside, but he knows it's very early, and right now he's going to allow Michael Trevarthen to go ahead and pull the train on this field. Let him burn up a little bit of gas. This big track, it's a 2.5-mile speedway. The exact distance is 2.5 miles even here tonight. And there's the 61. That is Dalton Williamson taking a peek to the inside of the Nickelodeon Ford Mustang. So Sean Casingo will drop back a spot. He'll now be found into the 4th position as Dalton Williamson picks up another one. So that'll put Dalton Williamson now into the 3rd spot. It's been a good couple of weeks for the driver out of Tampa, Florida. You can see him right there on the screen. He's a 3-time Thursday Night Short Track Series champion. The other week, he thought he was just going to sneak one out at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Unfortunately, getting wrapped up into a wreck, not able to pick up his first W. And now here on the big track, we call this one of those super speedway-esque kind of tracks. Well, he finds himself running right there into P number 3 as they run down the back straightaway. Into the tunnel turn they go. Brandon Feeney in that Liquid Molly entry, looking to the inside of the Buffalo Bills. Number 73, that is Philly Edwards. Dalton Williamson picking up a spot also towards the front of the field. He just got around the 42 of Max Terriot. Now Terriot going to storm back to the inside there. See which one of these drivers has the run down the front straightaway. Real tight racing between those two drivers. Max not going to give the inch to Williamson. He's going to hold him up against the fence line all the way down the front straightaway. Now does the 61 able to carry the momentum through turn number 1. He will. He'll now have P number 2. The Rev Esports drivers holding down P number 1 and P number 2 right now. As you see Williamson, he's actually going to be able to get a slingshot move around the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. New race leader here on lap number 6. It is going to be number 61 of Dalton Williamson. 77 of Doug Neal hanging on right there. There you see him in that throwback. The throwback, if I remember right, I want to say it was a Jeff Bodine paint scheme, and I could be way wrong. Look at Williamson trying to break the draft down the front straightaway. He's able to swing it down to the inside. He'll funnel back up in line. Max Terriot going to give a little bit of a push there to the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Trying to see if he can make him start working through the field. There's the 17 of Combs. Combs trying to pick off the number 62 of Troutman. We talked about Troutman and his woes here in the early stages of this one. Holding serve right now back into the 14th position after losing spots on the opening laps. Joshua Buckley trying to work the outside move down here in turn number 3. Real close to the outside retaining wall on exit, but he's going to be able to make the pass work, it looks like, possibly. Let's see how close or how far he can get down here into turn number 1 in that checkered flag auto supply number 13 MA. As you see the 15. Dustin Gainey really drives it off. Joshua Buckley checks up. He's going to try and cross back over off turn number 1 down the back straightaway. He should have a run headed down towards the tunnel turn. We'll see if he can actually get there or if he's just going to run out of straightaway. Everybody's still really packed up here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. So Buckley not able to take that spot back from Dustin Gainey. Gainey is the biggest mover of the race in car number 15 here tonight. And there you see him. He started back outside the top 20, already picking up 9 spots, finds himself running into the 13th position. Late to the call, but one driver is out there onto the raceway. There's the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Souza, remember, he's one of those drivers that is locked into the championship first round at least. There you see the Souza median, number 4. Currently sitting 9 laps down. 9 laps down, as this is only a second lap. It looks like he is coming to complete this time by. So he's got to hope and pray for a lot of issues here tonight. You see Tony Strano up the speedway. He's driving car number 3 here tonight. The Adam Petty throwback Victory Junction gang number 3 here tonight. Brother Joe right behind him in car number 43, the Road Rage Accessories entry. Battle for the second spot. Michael Trevarthen looks like he's about to give up the second spot. As there goes the storm from the north. Max Terriot will take the second spot away here as we're working lap number 10 here tonight out of the 60 schedule at Pocono Raceway. See which one of these drivers can walk away with the awesome trophy here at Pocono. James Skelton, one of the drivers you'd think to be towards the front of the field, buried back into the field right now. He's back into the 11th spot after he just got around Joshua Buckley and Ryan O'Donnell. That left those two battling side by side, and Buckley's going to lose a little bit of ground here. Now here comes the number 62 of Troutman back to the outside down here in turn number 3. Buckley has the preferred line down on the inside, but not able to use up all the racetrack here. So that'll allow the 62 of Troutman to, well, pick another fry out of that Wendy's bag. There's the race lead. That's who's out front. Dalton Ramus and Max Terriel and Michael Trevarthen. Those are the drivers that are currently running 1, 2, and 3. Shanika Single has made it this is farther than he's made it in the last 2 races combined, mileage-wise anyway. He's sitting there in 4th, and Chris Hammond currently sitting there in the Valvoline number 6 entry. We talk about Chris Hammond, his obsession with the great Mark Martin. Mark Martin brought his number 6 Ford Taurus to Las Vegas this past weekend in the Real Cup Series, and, well, he said not a single person from Roush Racing came on over. So, unfortunately, Mark Martin not getting the respect that Chris Hammett thought he deserved. That's why Chris Hammett's running one of those throwbacks here. The Valvoline number 6, the Eagle 1 on the back quarter panel also. We got bugles. Who doesn't love bugles? I can't say I've had them in a while. So that's your top 5 as they run. Then you have Tony Strano back here running into the 6th spot. Joe Strano back in 7th. Doug Neal's running 8th. Richard Murdoch is back into the 9th spot there with the 0-1 entry. And you got James Skelton right there. They were 1 and 2 on the boards in our practice session. James Skelton was number 1. Richard Murdoch was 2 on the board in our practice session. Both of them qualifying, though, outside the top 5. James Skelton actually started 9th, but fell through the field on the opening lap. Sean Single and Chris Hammett down here in turn number 1. Hammett will get to the inside, and he should be able to clear that Nickelodeon entry. That'll put Sean Single back into the 11th spot. In car 11 back into the 5th spot. Chris Hammett is running 4th. Murdoch trying to pick up the spot on Doug Neal. Neal working the outside of the speedway. So Murdoch can take that spot away from the 77 of Neal. James Skelton tried to follow the 0-1 through the hole, but Neal slammed the door on it. Couple different groups right now starting to form all around the racetrack as these cars start to break up just a little bit. See the 0-1 of Murdoch go down the raceway trying to help out his teammate back there, the 86 of James Skelton. Call them teammates because they're both from South Carolina. Now James going to get a great run. Ryan O'Donnell also down there trying to get a little bit of a tow with his Ford Mustang. So right now it's a Chevrolet out front, followed by a slew of those blue ovals. And the first Toyota back here, which is James Skelton. Only 2 Toyotas in the field here tonight. James Skelton running into the 9th spot. And Eric Stout back into the 17th running position. Skelton just not able to clear Doug Neal. Doug Neal with a great starting spot here tonight. Now stuck on the outside groove. And you can kind of hold serve for a little bit on the outside, but sooner or later you're going to start to fade. And oh, that was close there. Watching the camera off turn number 1. Troutman in the Wendy's Biggie Bag. He used up all the racing surface. Didn't get the wall, but was very close with that Chevrolet. Nothing has changed out front. You're still watching this battle back here for right around the 10th position. James Skelton finally able to get the Flowertown Animal Hospital number 86 around Doug Neal and see now if he can set sail. One driver coming to pit road here. Lap number 16 and one driver coming to pit lane. He's going to bring a couple of them with. So Chris Hammett coming to pit road. Brandon Feeney, Eric Stout, and A.J. Hamill all coming to pit road here. There you see the Flow Racing 12 entry. Mr. Confusion Motorsports number 918 of A.J. Hamill will hit his box. So those drivers are the first ones to come down pit road here on lap number 16. As there's the battle for the lead. It's the black number 61 of Dalton Williamson and the black number 42 of Michael Trevarthen. Then Michael Trevarthen, Sean Single, and Tony Strano is how the top 5 is running. But it's really just a 3-car, a little bit of a breakaway here on lap number 16. I believe here comes the 61 to pit road. No, he's actually going to stay out for another lap around the tricky triangle. So he will not pit. Nobody inside the top 13. 14 will pit that time. So a couple of those drivers. Oh, and one of them bit by the pit road police here tonight. The Brandon Feeney entry. Too fast entering pit road for car number 38. He will have to sit and serve a penalty here. Philly Edwards kind of sitting in the no man's land. See, just out ahead of him, that is Rob Higgins in the Busch Beer number 40 here tonight. Of course, Rob picking up that Raven Graphics Busch Beer car. You see, oh, and he's going to scrape it out of the tunnel turn. The Busch Light Mobile 1 Ford Mustang scrapes the outside. Well, we're going to have to stop talking about Cowboy Rob. Bunch of cars coming to pit road. Dustin Gainey too fast. He'll miss pit road. Dustin Gainey was coming to pit road. His car wobbled as he tried to get under braking, and instead of taking out Ryan O'Donnell, who was coming to pit road, he turned the car back to the right, and he will just funnel back onto the racing surface. So Dustin Gainey almost with a huge moment as he was trying to come to pit road. Missed pit road, which was probably good because it was going to be another car or the water barrels at the entry to pit road. Neither of them were going to be good. See, drivers on pit road, 4-tire stops for a lot of these drivers. Josh Buckley having a little bit of trouble getting out of his pit stall. So James Skelton will be the first driver that comes back out onto the raceway, leading Richard Murdoch, Ryan O'Donnell, Joshua Buckley, and Rob Higgins. Battle for the race lead. That's because they're coming to pit road. It's the race to pit road. The 61 of Dalton Williamson, though, will win that race to pit road. Max Tarrant right there on the quarter panel, though, of car number 61. So Shanika Single will lead his first lap tonight. And I'm thinking about it. I think that's the first lap. That is the first lap led by Sean Single this season. He has not led a lap to this point in the season till just now. It's taken him 6 completed races, and on race number 7 of the season, he finally is able to pick up the race lead. He'll most likely bring the Slime Nickelodeon car to pit road this time. As he will, he's off the gas. Very ginger down to pit road. 55 miles an hour here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. Little strategy, and all of a sudden, Mark Martin's about to find himself at the front of the field. Chris Hammett should obtain the race lead here when they come back around to the line. So as the scoring starts to update, now you see it. Chris Hammett goes to the top of the pylon, and it was a 4-tire stop, and it was actually a very slow stop for the number 6 of Chris Hammett. But coming to pit road first is going to net him the race lead. And this is how your top 10 is looking right now. Chris Hammett out front after the green flag pit cycle. He pitted back on lap 15. He was one of the first drivers to come to pit road. He has the race lead. The 86 of James Skelton, though, he is sitting here running in P number 2, while Richard Murdoch is back in P number 3 right now. There you see the full throttle racing adventure in pixels 01 of Murdoch, up 9 spots here tonight, but that's not the highest mover. There it is. There's the big shaker. That's Ryan O'Donnell. O'Donnell has picked up 10 spots. He runs into P number 4 as they are currently running on the speedway. Then after that, Dalton Williamson, who came in as the race leader, he is now back to running in 5th. Max Terriel is sitting back there into the 6th position in car number 42. Michael Trevarthen has fallen from 3rd back to 7th. Tony Strano, who's running 6th at one point here tonight, is now running in 8th. And Eric Stout, with a little bit of strategy, now finds himself inside the top 10. And Shanika Single, who was the last driver to come to pit road, he comes back out, funnels back in to P number 10. He is looking for more. Hot trot for the number 11. As he'll tiptoe down to the inside here in the tunnel turn, try to make the pass. Not able to slide up in front of Eric Stout, because that's Eric Stout had the momentum off the high side with that Raven Graphics number 912 entry. Joe Strano's right here in the battle. So is the number 62 of Ethan Troutman. Joshua Buckley just hanging off the backside, watching this all unfold out in front of him. 21 laps have been completed here tonight from Pocono. There you see Stout peek down to the inside on car number 11, the Nickelodeon Slime entry. Not going to be able to do anything. On board here with Eric Stout, watching the outside lane have the momentum. Project Confusion going by. That's A.J. Hamill. Stout should be able to sail it off here into the tunnel turn, and actually everybody going to go right around the outside. So Eric Stout losing positions, having the preferred line down into turn number 2. And now here comes Joshua Buckley. He is right here to play. So Josh Buckley, one driver peeling off for pit road. That's the number 4 of Souza. Remember, he has multiple laps down here tonight on a completely different strategy. He was late getting his car through tech inspection. He was late to the grid. And well, when you're late that many times, it puts you way behind the 8 ball. Battle for the race lead. Down the back straightaway they come. It's the Ford. It's the Mustang leading the Toyota Camry. And then it's a Chevrolet of Richard Murdoch. All 3 manufacturers here tonight at Pocono represented inside the top 3. James Skelton trying to take the race lead here. He will not get it at the stripe, so lap number 23 will go into the books with Chris Hammett's name as the leader at the time of that one. Down the high banking in turn number 1. On the other side of turn 1, it'll be the 86, James Skelton, now as the race leader. You see Brandon Feeney, remember, he went and had a penalty served, so he is currently running 24th. The first car that is not a lap down in 24th. Jeffrey Souza, a long extended stay on pit road for car number 4. Michael Trevarthen having a little bit of an odd line that time through that short chute there between turns 2 and turn 3. Knock another one down. That time, though, James Skelton will get credited with that race lap led. There's our second group of cars back here. This is 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's Tony Strano, Sean Single, and Joe Strano. So Sean Single, who came out running in 10th after the green flag pit cycle had all unfolded. He's now back here running into the 9th position, only able to pick up 1 spot by staying out. He's the only driver inside the top 15 that stayed out on lap number 19. Philly Edwards was the other driver, and there you see the Buffalo Bills, number 73. Of course, Philly Edwards very excited about the Bills Mafia picking up the big W on Sunday night over the Kansas City Chiefs. Some of those Bills fans call it revenge, and some of the Bills fans say it's not revenge until we beat them in the playoffs. Well, the only time they can see them in the playoffs is if they're playing in the Super Bowl. Sean Single trying to get around another one of those Strano Brothers Racing entries. Right now is trying to get around the number 3. That is Tony Strano. Strano running the outside lane here into the tunnel turn. A little bit up out of the groove. That should allow the 11 of Sean Single to clear, and he does on the exit of turn number 2. So Sean Single now up into the 8th spot. See if he can run away from this group. Look at the 62 of Troutman down to the bottom. He's going to grab another one of those biggie bags, and he'll roll the bottom side of the speedway through turn number 3. See if he can carry some of that momentum. You see Joe Strano going up to the outside there. He'll follow his brother down this very long front straightaway here at Pocono. Closing in on the halfway point home here tonight. It has been all green flag racing so far here tonight at Pocono. We've seen some great racing. And towards the front of the field, it's still some good racing. A little bit of battles back here, though. There is the Rusties, number 950 of A.J. Watkins. Down to the inside, Dan Murphy Jr. running part-time here on Monday night with our main series. Doesn't always get to come out because of his job. But tonight, Dan Murphy Jr. is here. He's back running into 21st. He started back in 23rd, so he's a net gain here tonight of 2 positions so far. But hey, like you just heard us say, we still have halfway to go here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. Only thing that has changed at the front is James Skelton is the race leader, and there's Chris Hammett currently. He is holding that 2nd spot. He's got Richard Murdoch, Dalton Williamson, Ryan O'Donnell, and Max Terriot right there hot to trot. They have dropped the number 2 with Michael Trewarthen off the back end of this caboose. Ryan O'Donnell going to get up out of the groove, though, in the tunnel turn. That'll allow the number 42 of Max Terriot to start to take the peak to the inside. Shanika Single way back there coming out of turn number 2. We saw the Slime Ford Mustang. It looked like it was out of shape and starting to head to the inside, retaining while he gathered it back up, though. Currently, Sean is back there running into the 8th position with car number 11. Five different leaders here tonight at Pocono so far. One driver hard into the outside wall. That was the Eric Stout entry. Or correction, it was not Stout. Not quite sure who that was that went into the inside retaining wall. Or at least pointed towards the inside retaining wall. Might have been Dustin Gainey in car number 15. Either way, they were able to keep it pointed in the right direction. And yes, I'm being told it was the 15 of Dustin Gainey who was out of shape in that Coca-Cola. Number 15, you usually catch him driving a Chick-fil-A Dr. Pepper entry. Tonight, though, he's got the real magic, Coca-Cola. A.J. Hamel going to make a pass here. Or maybe not. Looked like AJ was trying to make the move here on Stout and Neal, but it looks like it's going to go the other direction here tonight, and it will be Stout picking up that spot, and actually Hamel's going to be able to hold on to that 14 spot. So Doug Neal, who had a really good qualifying effort here tonight, starting into the 6th position, has fallen back to 15th here at the halfway portion of this one. Another driver coming to pit road, and he'll be the first one to pit road. That's the number 6 of Chris Hammett. So Chris Hammett coming to pit road. Does anybody else come to pit road too? Tim Combs was just down on pit road. A.J. Hamel will come to pit road here. So here comes Eric Stout and A.J. Hamel. Both those drivers will come to pit road. Make their pit stop. The Empire 6 Alliance drivers working together here on Mondays and Thursdays. See them leaders are working through the lap traffic there. Brandon Feeney as Williamson stuck behind the Liquid Molly number 38. That front group has really started to break up just a little bit. Murdoch with a very odd line that time through turn 3. There comes Brandon Feeney. He'll come to pit road. The battle, though, is for P number 4, as here comes the Turbo Dork entry. Not able to make the pass on Dalton Williamson. Doug Neal has come to pit road in the number 77. There you see him slowly making his way down pit road. Driver out of Georgia. Max Terrell trying to make a charge through the field here before we hit our next round of green flag pit cycles. Skelton still out front, and it is the biggest lead we've seen all night long. It is a 1.2 second, almost 1.3 second. You see the number 86 go down to the inside here. Trying to break that draft there from those guys back there. Doesn't want to give them any more of an advantage than they need. They're already back there in the draft. The more you can kind of separate yourself, the better. That's what he's looking at right now as the number 42 gets the second. Murdoch back to third. Now here comes Williamson. He would still like to take a spot. Maybe Ryan Donnie can take a spot. He'll now step down right behind his teammate there as they head into the tunnel turn. Good run out of the turn. Nowhere to go, though, for Ryan O'Donnell as Dalton Williamson slams the door as they go down the short chute, headed to turn number 3. Oh, Donnie tight. Williamson, wiggle wobble, wiggle wobble. Hangs on to it. Talk about a big wiggle there for the number 61 of Williamson off of turn number 3. Not quite sure what happened. We should be able to go back there and watch that, though. As a couple drivers were making their way around him. Let's watch that 61. Tags the wall and just hangs on for dear life. Look at the hands. Nobody knowing which way Williamson was going to go. Hung on to it, but he'll lose a ton of time. He was up inside the top 5 as your race leader is coming to pit road. Here comes the Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86. Here comes Richard Murdoch, Ryan O'Donnell. And here comes Ethan Troutman, Joe Strano coming to pit road. Joshua Buckley will come to pit road. Pit road is the place to be. Here comes now Dustin Gainey, Rob Higgins. Oh, Gainey gonna lock it up. He'll find the inside retaining wall on pit road. So Gainey will take the tow to pit road. Unfortunately, getting that wheel locked up. And his night may be over here. Max Terriel, Sean Single, Michael Trevarthen, Dalton Williamson, and Tony Strano, the only drivers who have not pitted here after the halfway point tonight here at the Pocono Raceway. Max Terriel will stay out this time. He'll bring Sean Single along with him. Sean Single going to go way down trying to break that draft there from the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen tries to chase the cat down there just a little bit, but then he goes right back up to the outside. And now Sean Single going to open up the inside lane with these NASCAR Next Gen cars. We've seen 2 grooves of racing. Oh, Trevarthen into the outside wall. He'll scrape it out of turn number 1. He scraped the outside retaining wall. We'll see how much damage that put onto the quarter panel there of car number 2, because this big 2.5-mile speedway, it's one of those that you don't want to bend up the fenders at all, because you do that and your night aerodynamically could be over unless you have somebody to draft with. And he did have the 11 there of Sean Single, but we're seeing as now your race leader, the 42 of Max Terriel, has come to pit lane. Sean Single also coming to pit lane. Michael Trevarthen will lead that lap by at the stripe. So those drivers all coming down as Michael Trewarthen continues to stay out here, as it's just two drivers who have yet to come to pit road. Stretching it here, Michael Trewarthen and Dalton Williamson, the two team cars out of the Rev Esports stables, trying to stretch the fuel mileage here as they run around the big 2.5 mile speedway. Listen as he enters the tunnel turn. Playing with it, very ginger, and almost slides it up into the outside wall again, that time though out of turn 2. We talk about how treacherous this track is here. 3 corners and all 3 of them different radiuses, and all 3 of them different degrees of banking. Looks like the 2 has said that is enough. I'm coming to pit road. He's going to bring along the number 61 of Dalton Williamson, so those 2 drivers will come to pit road. That should cycle things back out. So the driver, well, I say driver, but I mean drivers out of South Carolina, because James Skelton should cycle through as the race leader, and running in second will be the 01 of Richard Murdoch. Then it'll be the number 42 of Max Terrell. That is how they should come back across the stripe here with just 22 laps to go when we come to the, actually it'll be 23 laps to go for a lot of these drivers you'll see on the screen, because Michael Trewarthen has already completed the next lap. Couple drivers out of tonight's race. Jeffrey Souza has retired after 15 laps. He'll be credited with a 25th place finish. Dustin Gainey will be credited with the 24th place finish after 33 laps. He crashed coming to pit road. Heavy impact with the front nose piece of that Chevy Camaro, so it'll be 24th for Dustin Gainey. Everybody else still out there. 23 cars still circling the 2.5 mile speedway here tonight, as Michael Trewarthen, who just came out of pit road a lap ago, trying to take that spot from Tony Strano, but oh boy, that's not the way to enter the tunnel turn. They call it the tunnel turn here at Pocono because, well, that's how you get to the infield here. 2 tunnels, one coming in, one going out. Unless it's go home day on Monday, then they're all out tunnels. Williamson trying to work his way back through the field now. Remember, he had that big moment where he almost lost the 61 out of turn number 3. Held on to it. It's not going to be the finish he wanted here tonight, but after saving that car, I think you can chalk it up as a good day no matter where you finish, as long as you keep the fenders on it from this point out. Brandon Feeney in front of the number 42 of Max Terrell. Terrell going to draft down the short chute. Then he'll pull to the left-hand side, and he'll get down to the inside of that liquid moly entry. Ryan O'Donnell having a really good run here tonight in that Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. We talked about Ryan having a good run, but man, when you look at it, up 10 spots, following the 42 of Max Terrell here at Pocono. It's a solid day here at Pocono. Ryan O'Donnell needs to have a solid day. He's inside the top 12 in the point standings, which, yeah, that would get you into the first round of the playoffs, but you want more than just to be the driver that just gets in on points. You'd like to have a cushion. Right now, Doug Neal and Ryan O'Donnell are the 2 drivers that are just inside the cut line. Ethan Troutman, Joshua Buckley, Tony Strano are on the outside looking in currently. It looks like it is a 7-point deficit right now from the cut line for Troutman to Buckley. O'Donnell is actually good by 2 points currently as we stand with 20 laps to go here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. Max Terrell going to look to the inside here on Richard Murdoch, and this is all happening right now 6.3 seconds back behind James Skelton. Skelton picking up a big win on Thursday in the Short Track Scrambler Series. We were just at the Martinsville Speedway, and James picked up his first career win. James Skelton, I'm looking at it, is out on a Sunday drive. Right now, though, Max Terrell, last time by, did set the fastest lap of the night. And that was a 53.86 second lap for Max. Richard Murdoch still able to hold into that draft. Look at this group of cars as they work down the front straightaway. A.J. Hamel has picked up a bunch of spots, but now look at everybody work to the inside on him. There goes the 2 of Trevarthen. Here comes the 43 of Strano. Tony Strano's right there also, and Eric Stout still hanging on, trying to get into the top 10 here tonight. Trying to put that second Toyota entry here. The other Toyota's at the top of the charts there with James Skelton. See the 941, that is Dan Murphy Jr. He's just out ahead of Michael Trevarthen and then this group of cars. And you see the 43 of Joe Strano working down to the bottom now. The Strano brothers all night long have pretty much run nose to tail, one position after another, and currently the Strano brothers are still inside the top 10. So Joe Strano and Tony Strano, who of course are racing here on Monday night, they both have the kidney cancer awareness ribbons on their cars, and they will run that forever, they said, recognizing their mom who was recovering from surgery from kidney cancer. Lori, one of the biggest supporters of her sons that are running here on Monday night, usually catch her out there in chat, tuning in to watch them. Right now, though, it is Joe over Tony, even though Mom loves Tony more, and it's always Tony's fault. That's their words, race fans. I didn't say it. That's their words. They wrote it here for me. A couple more drivers coming to pit road, and they're just inside their window. There you see the 77 of Doug Neal, A.J. Hamel, Eric Stout, and that looks like Dan Murphy Jr. That is Dan Murphy Jr. coming out of pit road. Long stop there for Eric Stout, 26 seconds. That is going to lose him time on the racetrack and also spots on pit road. Not a good stop for the driver out of Virginia. He'll lose spots. That's going to be terrible for Eric Stout. We'll see where he cycles back through. There is the Dew entry here tonight. Tim Combs rocking the Mountain Dew Baja Blast entry, I do believe that is. Or actually, that's the Mountain Dew Hard Cider Baja Blast edition. And the one who's blasting right now, well, James Skelton blasted another lap off the board here tonight. It'll be 15 laps left here tonight at the Pocono Raceway, the 2.5-mile speedway located in the honeymoon capital of the world here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Just 45 minutes here from our studios in Pennsylvania. Call us our home track here on iRacing. So the Skelton out front. The best battle still between the two Strano brothers on the racetrack. Running 8th and 9th. Dalton Williamson has caught this group of cars. There you see the 61 of Williamson after having a terrible corner exit off turn number 3, losing all that ground down the front straightaway. He was running inside the top 5 when he had the mishap. Trying to get around Tony Strano here as he caught this group very fast as your race leader is coming to pit road. James Skelton comes to pit road, and actually that's going to bring another one of those drivers inside the top 10 to pit road. That'll be Sean Single. So Sean Single coming to pit road. Joshua Buckley also coming to pit road. There you see the checkered flag on display. The Grand Heaps Walkers and Kings 13MA. So, when will the race leader, there you see him working down here through the tunnel turn. When does the 42 decide to come to pit road? Richard Murdoch is still holding serve right there, not letting the 42 get away from him with 14 laps to go. Definitely the pit window is open as Sean Single is coming out of pit road, so is Joshua Buckley. Richard Murdoch says now's the right time. He's going to start to come to pit road. So as he comes to pit road, so does Ryan O'Donnell and Ethan Troutman. Those drivers all coming to pit road. See everybody fanned out as that's the 38 of Feeney. Feeney just got passed up by the 10 of Combs, and then that was the 912 of Eric Stout also that made their way to the bottom of the Liquid Molly entry. Feeney back here running into the 18th position currently. He is battling that driver right there, the number 30, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, number 30, the driver out of Massachusetts. That's Bob Higgins. See Bob just up the racetrack down there in turn number 2. The car not handling the way he would like it to here. Max Terrell going to turn another one. The sun back out on the front straightaway here. I believe that was one driver coming to pit road very fast, and that was the number 38 of Brandon Feeney. Feeney came to pit road like there was a sale on some of that Liquid Molly. Wondering when the 42 of Max Terriot will start to look to eyeball pit road. Last time he was down was lap 36. So those tires are starting to get very old here tonight, as he will not take the advantage this time to come to pit road. He will stay out. 11 to go. Everybody is very spread out around the speedway. Joshua Buckley and Ethan Troutman right now are your two closest cars on the racetrack, as both Strano brothers are coming to pit road. There's Joe, there's Tony. It looks like also the number 40 of Higgins has to come down for another Busch Light. So everybody taking their final pit stops here. Oh, Rob Higgins going to miss his pit stall on pit road. And then he backs it up. They can't get it lined up. He'll miss an opportunity there to pass the 43 and the 3 of Strano on pit road. Higgins was able to get it lined up. He's already got the right side tires on. Left side tires going on this time. Drop the jack and away he's going to go. But he'll lose a very precious time. 10.5 seconds is the deficit right now between Max Terrell and Michael Trevarthen. Williamson not able to hang on anymore. He had to come to pit road. Something happened to Williamson. Not quite sure what it was. Take the look. Oh, I think his car out of gas, and then he had to take a tow to pit road. Unfortunate for the driver of the 61. Had a very fast car here. Max will come to pit road as he's getting ready to take just 9 laps to go. About an 11-second, almost 12-second lead, actually, which was the deficit from first to second, separating Max Terriot and Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen's going to stay out again. Possibly does not have the car to win on a short run here tonight. You don't see a lot of cars a lap down here tonight. Why? Well, that's because this track, if you pit within 20 seconds of the race leader, you're able to get in and out of pit road without losing a lap. And yes, we've seen a lot of green flag racing here tonight. But those opportunities that you used to see to pass a lot of cars, well, with this single lug nut here on these next generation cars, pit stops are lickety-split into the 9 to 10-second bracket. 8 laps to go here at Pocono. Trevarthen, the only driver who has yet to come to pit road. He still has to pit. He cannot make 8 more laps on his tank of fuel. He came on lap number 37 here. So that would be 23 laps on fuel, and that would be the most we have seen. Usually guys are between 16 and 19 laps on fuel, so he is not going to be able to make it on fuel. He has a 14.5-second lead right now, as now you see the flames out of the tailpipe. That was a good indication. He's going to come to pit road right now. Here comes Michael Trevarthen to pit road, BK Paints Ref Esports number 2. So he will turn the race lead back over to, well, the fisherman. James Skelton will be the driver. That will now obtain the race lead with just 7 laps to go. It's South Carolina's own, the Carolina Elite Real Estate. Number 86 here tonight is out front. Second, though, is the 01 of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch having himself a very good showing here tonight, and we talk about the foundation. One of those drivers a couple of seasons ago that was in the basement for probably the good first quarter of the season. Well, he's no longer in the foundation of the point standings this season. So far, he is sitting 7th overall in the regular season's championship hunt, and with him being 7th, he's actually found himself in a really good points position. And tonight here at Pocono, if he's able to finish here on the podium yet tonight, he will also get himself some nice bonus points to pad that cushion from that points cutoff area. 6 laps to go around the tricky triangle. Bob Higgins and Dan Murphy Jr. slugging it out back here for the 20th and 21st position. These two Massachusetts boys trying to figure out who wants to have the 20th spot and who wants 21st. Dalton Williamson has called it a night here, though, from the Pocono Raceway. Car number 61 will get retired on lap number 49. So Williamson is out of the race here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. This time by, as he looks to come out of turn number 3, he'll look at the flag stand halfway down the straightaway. He'll see 5 fingers waving. It's the "Hi, how are you" lap. It's 5 laps to go. So 5 more times around the tricky triangle for James Skelton, Richard Murdoch, Max Terrill, and look at Ryan O'Donnell. We talked about him earlier in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. Ryan O'Donnell just having himself a very quiet night with that Turbo Dork number 98. O'Donnell qualified back into the 14th position. He's now running 4th here with just 5 laps to go. He's made his pit stop. He should be good to make it the rest of the way on fuel. He'll probably run out right around the back straightaway or possibly at the end of turn number 1. And that's just my fuel calculations. So, somebody knock on some wood. We don't want to bring any of that bad juju here into the broadcast tonight with this time by James Skelton. There's Skelton at the line now, and look at Murdoch. He's just coming off turn number 3. He's now at the line, so you can call that about 5.5 almost. And it's not shrinking. If anything, it is actually starting to grow again. As you see, the 42 Max Terrill has now closed up on that 01. Max able to get a really good run down the back straightaway, but then the tunnel turn comes. Murdoch sailed it off as Terrill lifted a little bit. Here we go. Now the 42 will look to the inside in turn 3. Side by side, they will battle into turn number 3. Here, James is able to play with that throttle just a little bit better. He'll take the position off the corner. So with just 3 laps to go, and now it is James Skelton who has a 5-second lead over Max Terriel. Sean Single breaking the draft for nobody. There is nobody back there. Sean Single's just, I guess, adding a little distance to the raceway. See the Strandos back there. They were also breaking the draft. Joshua Buckley's been into the wall. There you see the 13MA having a really good night here tonight. He's inside the top 10, but Michael Trevarthen has caught him now. Trevarthen, we've seen him with a very fast car. This time by, you're going to put 2 up in the air. We're going to drop them down in front of the 86. It'll be 2 more times around the tricky triangle for James Skelton. Still has a 4.0 second lead over Max Terriel. James Skelton was one of the first drivers to come to pit road here tonight, trying to save a little bit of fuel here. Battle back here between Tony Strano, because that was Tony Strano. Yes, it was, because Michael Trevarthen just got around him. So as they all bobble and swerve around each other like bumblebees at a nest. This time out of turn 4, he'll pick up the white flag here tonight. White flag being displayed here at Pocono, which means we will go from green to checker here tonight. There's the distance, first to second, then second to third, and third to fourth. There it is. Shanika Single back there riding into the 5th spot. That's how they're all running. James Skelton, though, down the back straightaway for the final time here tonight in car number 86. Final time through turn number 2, the tunnel turn. Probably the trickiest turn in NASCAR. Through the short chute and into the final corner, turn number 3. This time, when he looks up as he exits turn number 3, you'll see Barney the Flagman has the flag in the air. It'll be James Skelton going to victory lane here in Pocono. Max Terriel in second. Richard Murdoch is going to score third here tonight. Ryan O'Donnell picks up the most spots. He'll be fourth. Sean Single way down below. He'll be into the 5th spot. Drag race. Michael Trevarthen will finish. Then it'll be Troutman in 7th. Tony Strano in 8th. Joe Strano in 9th. And Joshua Buckley rounding out the top 10. That's how they will finish here tonight at the Pocono Raceway for the unofficial top 10. And there is your race winner. I'm sure he'll be back around here. And he'll light the tires on fire at the stripe. Unofficial results are scrolling on the left-hand side of your screen here tonight from Pocono. Find where your favorite driver will finish tonight's race off in. And what kind of points he got from this. So as James Skelton burns it down here tonight from Pocono race fans, he'll celebrate this one as he picks up another race win here on Monday night. That'll be his 3rd win of the season with that 86 machine. So he'll celebrate. We'll take a quick step away here from the Pocono International Raceway, and we'll be back in the honeymoon capital of the world to talk to your race winner and your top 3 finishers after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Pocono Raceway, race fans. It's the honeymoon capital of the world, and these race drivers tonight are going honeymooning because they went 60 laps green to checkered here from one of the trickiest tracks on the circuit. They don't call it the tricky triangle for nothing. 3 corners, different banking, different apex, different radiuses in the corners. And these drivers were able to do it here tonight with 25 drivers on the racetrack and 0 caution flags. That means there's got to be some excited drivers on the podium here tonight. Let's start things off with the driver who will finish 3rd tonight here after 60 laps, and it's the Adventure in Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch, finally a great podium finish for you here tonight. This car has flames on it, and it was flying all around this 3-turn track.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to come back after last week's unfortunate events. James and I ran a strategy yesterday, and me, James, and Ryan tried some stuff in practice earlier, and it paid off pretty well, I think.
Tonight you qualified outside the top 10, and you ran into the top 10 before the green flag pit cycles really started to roll here. We noticed a lot of these drivers were coming early, some were coming a little bit later. What was the strategy on top of the box here tonight? Because whatever it was working for this Chevrolet.
Well, we knew we couldn't go 20 laps, so the plan was to pit at lap 18, 36, and 48, and to take 2 tires, 4 tires, and then 2 tires. We did a run earlier, changed right sides, and the car was still fast. So that's what I went with, and I'll let James tell you his strategy, but his was a little bit better, obviously.
Well, either way, this car, with the points that you're now going to gain here, you were sitting about middle of the pack overall in that points championship battle. And we talk about points usually this time of the year in the schedule. Tonight here, this is going to kind of throw you up into the pretty much looking good to lock yourself in on points here. What's going to be the rest of the strategy here, as we still have some very tricky tracks to go to? We have Sonoma coming up, Kansas, and Atlanta before the chase for the Cup.
Consistency obviously is going to be my number one goal. I would like to get a win. If I think I can do it without making a huge risk, it'll drop me way down in the points, I might go for it. But just to get a good run each week and finish consistently in the top 10, and then when playoff time comes, I'll kind of switch gears there and get a little more aggressive.
Well, you had a great strategy here tonight. It's your second top 5 of the season. And as we know, there's a lot of people out there tonight that really made this all happen behind the scenes. They're out there cheering for you. I think on Monday night, you definitely have the biggest fan club out there. So we're handing you the microphone. Who do you got to thank that makes this 01 have some cool flames on it and as fast as it is?
Yeah, I definitely got to thank my friends out in Colorado, Jeremy and Katie with Adventure and Pixels. I appreciate you letting me put your decal on my car. I try to represent for you every week. Leandra, I'm glad you got your oil change and got home safe. I see your text out there in Colorado as well. My Uncle Gary out in California, driving 18-wheelers. Appreciate what you do. Hope you got to tune in. And then back here in South Carolina, my boss, he's actually tuned in here, Mr. Thompson. Thanks for watching and supporting me on this. My dad and brother Michael up in Chester, South Carolina, they're tuning in every week. They're great supporters, so I appreciate that. And then my Uncle Steve down here in Somerville. Thanks for tuning in. James and Ryan, always great teammates. We work together in the draft to help each other get some passes tonight. So appreciate y'all and just sharing the tips, and then all our sponsors that help make this broadcast possible. And then last but certainly not least, Roger, you for coming out here with us and broadcasting every week. It's always a blast to go watch the show afterwards.
There you hear it. He's got flames. He talks fast. He races fast here tonight. The adventure in Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch will pick up 9 spots here tonight to finish 3rd overall after the 60 laps. Driver that finishes 1 spot better than him. He led a couple laps here tonight. Max, it looked like he had a very fast car, just was not in position here at the end of this one. What's the strategy that you could have played here tonight to possibly put this number 42 in victory lane?
In advance, I had no strategy. I had no plan for the strategy, and I just went as the race evolved. Maybe if I pitted a lap or 2 earlier, could have made a difference. But overall, having no cautions at Pocono, it's always a pain to run under caution here, so we'll take it.
Yeah, you definitely talk about this track. It's a very big track, and nobody likes the caution flags. They didn't come here tonight. Was that kind of a shock with this car and track combination? It's not a track that a lot of these drivers race, and the car, well, not a lot of drivers run this next-gen car either.
Yeah, we could have seen some contact on corner exits, some guys getting tight, and since we're running close to each other with the draft, that could have happened. But last night's practice went well, and well, we proved that we can have a full field with very clean racing overall.
Clean racing here tonight. Now, we know it's a little deeper into the season and you haven't found your way to victory lane, but there's a track next week that has your name written all over it. It's the first time I'll ever get to see the NASCAR Gander Outdoor trucks, though, at the Sonoma Raceway. What's the mindset going into a track that you know you have a very good chance of parking it in victory lane?
Well, that's actually one that I'll need to work on a lot. First time, yeah, we'll see the trucks out there. So originally the trucks were born in California, so it's fun to see these going back to South Carolina where it all started. And but James will be to watch if Jason Wells is there next week also. Tim probably, Ryan, solid race tonight. I just realized that I was caught right in the middle of their team party for top four spots. But that's something I just realized.
I didn't even realize it till you said it either yourself. But hey, a great run here tonight for you, Max. You're looking pretty stout in the point standings yourself. So who makes this all possible with this 42 always looking sharp?
Yeah, as always, my girlfriend, my friend Max, and Maxim Knitting, and my dad. Congrats against to James. Richard, good racing on the last 2 green flag, on the last 2 tire runs. And Ryan with a solid 4th place finish. And Josh, James, Richard for running this Red Light Monday Night Scrambler series. And we'll see you guys next week.
There you hear it. Max Terriot coming across the line. P number 2 here tonight. Got to lead a couple laps, but did not lead the final ones. That went to the driver that, well, started a little deeper into the field than you would have liked here. James, a quick car in practice, not so much in qualifying. What happened in qualifying to set this Flowertown Animal Hospital 86 so far deep into the field?
Yeah, Roger, I just really wasn't very good yesterday in practice, and then my qualifying, it kind of transferred over, and my qualifying effort was pretty poor, so I really didn't have high hopes for tonight, but I really got to thank Richard on the strategy, and taking the 2 tires just kind of loosened me up, and that's kind of what I really like, and I think the car just kind of came to me as the race progressed.
coming into the night, you say you weren't that good. What was the difference, though, in the weather from last night that made this car really come to life?
I really don't know if it was the weather. I really think it was the strategy of taking two. I really never thought after the practice yesterday and seeing the wear on the lefts, they were in the low to mid 90s, and usually that's not a good recipe for two tires. And Richard wanted to try it in practice, and he didn't. And I took four, and I couldn't catch him. And then, his strategy was two tires, four tires, two tires. I took two tires the entire race, so I never took left sides. And I think I lost some speed on the end, but the car had great turn. And then I learned something also in practice, that there's 3 settings on the brakes that you can actually change. And I was messing with them, and I actually got the car loosened up really nicely on the entry. And I think that helped me as the race progressed also.
Well, the car looked very solid here tonight to pick up that 3rd win of the season. Obviously, you're locked into, race for a championship here once again. We do have a couple races left, though, before we head into that chase. Sonoma, Kansas, Atlanta. What do you think about those next 3?
Yeah, Sonoma's a really good track to me. It's just a lot of finesse on the throttle. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then, the other 2, we'll just see how it plays out. Like I said earlier, I didn't really have high expectations for tonight. I thought we had 11 guys yesterday. I think it was like the 5th or 6th quickest. I thought I was going to be a 10th place car today. So we just got to put the time in. And then it's really neat with this league that it's strategy that really helps, help you get those finishes. So it makes it really a lot of fun to race with these guys.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and you said you're going to need some practice. So what do you say we roll the red carpet out here for the 3rd time this season, and we hand you the microphone, because there's people back behind the scenes of this great-looking, brand-new paint scheme, I do believe. I haven't seen it before on the next-gen car for you here, so somebody's got to be putting in the hours.
Yeah, most definitely. So this might take a minute here. I actually have it all written down. So first off, I got to thank Jeffrey Souza for the paint scheme tonight for the Flowertown Animal Hospital. I love supporting my wife's clinic. And we had turn 3 on there. So that was awesome. I also need to mention Stint Analyzer and then Souza Media. He wanted me to give a shout out if I was going to get a podium. And I told him I wasn't going to get a podium, so I'm super glad I did. Got to thank my teammates, Richard, Ryan with an awesome finish, and then Tim couldn't make it. But honestly, so I could not have had this finish without Richard and his strategy. I would have had to be a 10th place car, because I would never thought about the 2 strategies. And also because I don't know how to do these interview things very well. I just know how to turn left. I got to give him a shout out for last Thursday helping me out and being on the pit box, because if he wasn't my spotter and my crew chief guy, there's no way I would have won that race and beat Dalton. So I definitely got to give a shout out to Richard. I need to definitely go take him out to dinner now. He also wants me to give a shout out to Doug Robertson. He forgot that on his interview. So Doug, Richard did want me to give you a shout out. To all the drivers, awesome race, going to clean it in like Max said. The sponsors, hold on, let me get. Let's see, Checker Flag Auto Supply, Turn 3 Network, and Sim Racer Hub. Thank you guys for all the support, all the fans that were watching, and lastly, you, Roger, for the broadcast. And take a look at it tonight, and I'm so sorry this one dragged on, and I just had to give a lot of shout-outs.
Well, there it is. He warned us here tonight that if he finished on the podium, it was going to be a long one, and it definitely was for James Skellen. A long race here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. James Skellen, after 60 laps of competition, though, will be the driver that parks it in victory lane. He'll pick up his 3rd win of the season. He will not have to worry about the next 3 races, but we'll see if he's able to pick up his 4th, 5th, or possibly 6th race of the season. But for Pocono, it was a great one. We always throw Pocono into the wild card rounds like Daytona, Talladega. Well, next week when we head to the Sonoma Raceway, it's wine country on the West Coast with the Gander Outdoor Trucks. On October the 24th, we'll head to the Sonoma Raceway for 30 laps of racing competition. It'll be the first time ever in red light history that we take the Gander Outdoor Trucks to the Sonoma Raceway. So we're going to crown a winner out there, and he'll pick up the trophy and always be written into the record books here with the Scrambler Series as the first driver to take that trophy. But man, a great one here tonight. You heard from the top three finishers. The biggest mover of the race here tonight will finish fourth. That was Ryan O'Donnell. Sean Single was fifth. Sixth will be Michael Trevarthen. Seventh, Ethan Troutman. Tony Strano will finish eighth. Joe Strano will finish ninth. Those two brothers had a great race all race long here, battling side by side and nose to tail. Finishing into the 10th spot with another great finish. That'll be the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. That's your unofficial top 10 results here as we get ready to leave the Pocono Raceway. Race fans, we do got to thank you all for tuning in here tonight. Though from the Pocono Raceway, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast from Pocono virtually. But for everybody with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, everybody at Red Light Racing, and all of us here from the Turn 3 Racing Network, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. My name is Roger Muth, and until we see you next time, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in Turn 3.